Hello, everyone, and welcome back to vBrownbag Commitmas. Tonight we have Hart Hoover at H Hoover presenting "Stop Using Dash M: Writing Good Commit Messages." I'm your host, Lauren Malhoit. A few show notes to get started. Um, talk to us on Twitter at Commitmas or at vBrownbag, or hashtag us or hashtag Commitmas or hashtag vBrownbag if you want to ask questions during the show or just to get a hold of us later. You can find recorded episodes at bit.ly/commitmas2, the number 2. And of course, check out the GitHub repo at github.com/commitmas/30 days of Commitmas 2015 with dashes in between. And with all that, I am going to give Hart the presenter so you guys don't have to hear me talk anymore. And you should have it.
Thank you. So it is good to see everybody. Thanks for joining us. So my topic is to stop using -m, writing good commit messages. And I should start by saying that I myself am bad at commit messages, but it is my goal to be better, constant improvement. I have, from time to time, fallen into the -m trap, which is what it is. But I'm here to tell you, spread the gospel of writing good commit messages, because it's important. So every talk about commit messages should start, and probably does start, with a relevant XKCD, basically showing commit messages as a project goes on. The commit messages get more and more ridiculous. You should not do this, ever. We've all probably done that before, where we're just like, commit, whatever. But when you go back to make a pull request, or you're committing upstream, or pushing your changes upstream, you really should clean it up. And I think there's been several talks on rebasing and such in the Commitmas segment, so you should definitely do that before pushing upstream. But yeah, so it starts just simply like everything, right? The first cigarette, the first drink, the first foray into forbidden territory, where it's just some small change, some small thing. I don't really have to do anything detailed. It's crazy. I just did a fix, like whatever. It's my own personal repo. It doesn't matter. So you do your git commit, throw the -m, and just are like, fixes. Yeah, I fixed something. This is bad, and I think everyone would accept on a public project this is bad, but it's bad on a personal project as well. Really, because present you will screw over somebody sometime and some point. So present you, by saying -m, I fixed this, or some short thing, when someone goes to review your history for whatever reason to find out what was changed, why it was changed, what was going on here, what was going on at the time of this commit happening, you are screwing over future you, or future teammate / coworker, or your boss, or if you're committing to a public, open source repo out there, you're kind of screwing over, future committee members that may come along and try and figure out what you've done, either to fix a bug that you introduced, God forbid, or just want to know what was changed and try and understand the code better. By just having simple commit messages that aren't very good, you're not being a very good community member. So it's super important. So some laws for commit messages. What you should do is never assume the reviewer understands the problem that you solved. Like no context, right? Also, never assume that the code is self-documenting. Even if it's a small change, it should be documented. What's the change? Why was it made? What's relevant? Give as much context and information as possible. You don't have to write a novel if it's not warranted, but there should be more explanation than I fixed something. So these are the two laws you should really kind of going forward view commit messages as. So if we wanted to RTFM and look at what experts say about Git and books about Git. Really, general rule, your messages should start with a summary line. It's about 50 characters and describes what you're doing, followed by a blank line, followed by more detailed explanation. So based on the manual of ProGit, I would say that the summary line of fixed typo is not good enough, or updated website, not good enough. It needs to be more specific, and then it needs to have a break between your summary line, which is the first line, and the rest of the explanation. That is super important because of tools like rebasing and those type of processes to break that up. Otherwise, you'll break that process. That would suck. So here is the commit from ProGit that they kind of recommend: a short 50-character or less summary, a blank line, and then detailed explanatory text if necessary. I would say it's always necessary, no matter what, but have some text there. The line should wrap at 72 characters, and you can have bullet points, you can have other things in there, and here it even says, calls out the tool like rebase can get confused, so have the blank line, super important. And you can also do other things with commit messages that we'll cover in a second. The way you need to think about your summary line in particular, this is the best way I've found about summary lines. If you apply this change, if applied, this commit will X. So that should be your summary line. So if applied, this commit will fix a typo in this website, or add a function to my code, make it that type of tense. So the summary line should complete the sentence. This is the template that I like for Git commits. So notice I have, these are commented lines, so they will not show up in your Git commit message, but it's just kind of there as a reminder to do these things. So your summary, 50 characters or less, then a blank line, then the comment, why did you make the change? So that's where the paragraph would go. Relevant documentation, that's where you can put links to things like Stack Overflow, where you found a solution that you're trying out, or a forum, or this dude or guy or girl on Twitter I know said this awesome thing, so we're trying it out. And finally, if you're using some type of ticket system or issue tracker for a project, you can refer to those numbers in the commit as well. So let's take a look at a sample commit message. So if applied, this commit will add the contact page to the website. So simple summary for a change. Now, the paragraph after, notice the blank line, customers need to know where we are. This page includes a map to our location, phone number and fax number. Yeah, who uses faxes? People do sometimes. And links to social media networks. Relevant documentation. Here's a list of 25 amazing contact us pages that I used for reference. And finally, is this related to issues or tickets? So this commit closes an issue in our tracker. This commit is basically, the sample would be GitHub. So if you were using Jira or some other ticket tracker, you could use those here, but for this example, it's GitHub. So this closes number 37. That is an important line because this will automatically, if you're using GitHub, close issues for you. It will just close the issue, part of the commit, as soon as it's merged. So that's pretty cool. Another cool thing you can do is close issues in other repos. So you could have a master trunk issue that you're closing, and then close something in your fork as well, just for an example. So you can close multiple issues in a commit. So what's cool about Git commit messages, at least if you're trying to do something over and over, the worst way to do it over and over is to do it manually over and over. So you can automate your Git messages to both enforce a Git commit in a proper format, as well as you can have some scripts in place that check your messages to make sure that they're conforming to a standard. So first, let's look at Git message. So this is a special file that can just live in your home directory, and this is where this is a template. So my Git commit message should look like this file. So again, here's my summary, my template, and you can add it to your Git config under the commit header. There's the commit section. Just provide a template, and so it can be anywhere in your system, but you have to specify where it is. And then from then on, when you do a Git commit, it will use that template for you, which is super handy and super nice. And that way, it's automated, and you can just use it without using a -m. It'll bring up your editor and show it off, which is really cool. Git hooks. So I wanted to show these off. If you are a Ruby coder, there's a project called FitCommit you can check out that will automatically check your Git commits. And if you're a Python fan, there's one called GitLint. So looking at GitHub, ooh, hello. This is FitCommit, so it will check your Git commit as you're making it and allow you to force if you want. I wouldn't, but that's just me. And then you can install hooks into Git repos that you're using, which will create the commit template and check. It'll create a hook and check your Git commit messages. These are the things it checks by default. Frat house, that is swear words. No swearing in your commits. I know sometimes that's super frustrating. You want to be like, oh, F this, but it will check against that and reject it. So GitLint is also great. It's Python. Looking at actual docs is helpful. So you can look at Git commits from a log and pipe it to GitLint, which is super nice, or it will install a hook for you. So each commit, as it's happening, will be checked. Just for fun, I checked the 30 days of Commitmas, the last log, and it turns out somebody didn't do a good commit message. GitLint caught it. So let's see what was going on. Who's guilty party? Oh, Jonathan. So he only has a summary line, no body message. So GitLint threw an error. Didn't like that too much. Sorry, Jonathan. I still love you. So that is an example of some automated Git stuff you can do, which is very nice. Again, you can have hooks installed and have templates for what you're trying to do in your Git config. It's just under the init section. And so each new repo that you pull down or create, it'll add those hooks automatically, which is super nice. That way you don't have to keep installing the hook on each repo. But really, sometimes -m is okay, right? So, like, if it's just a small change, like you're just fixing a typo, is this okay? In my opinion, no, it's not okay. Even though it's a small change, it's never okay to have just a summary line, because you really want to get into a good habit of not using -m. So, I mean, one commit at a time. Like if you are switching from one commit message mode to the -m mode back and forth, people are lazy. They're going to go back to that -m because it's so easy every time. So if you use just git commit without a -m every time, no matter what, you'll get in more of the habit of doing that every time, no matter what. And it's super important because it forms good habits. It's good habit making. So don't use -m, even though you really want to. Even though it's a simple change. even though it's like nothing. It's just, something small. Doesn't matter. Um, Again, use this great, fantastic template for your commit messages. Um, Thank you very much.
That was awesome, man. Good and to the point. I like it.
Thank you.
Um, any questions out there? We have some retweets, but no questions, probably because it was such a good presentation.
I'll take
So
it.
anything that ends with Bruce Lee, right?
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Well, it doesn't look like there are any questions, so Hart, thanks again for presenting. That was
Yeah.
awesome. Tune
Thank
in
you for having
tomorrow.
me.
Tune in tomorrow for Commitmas, and the rest of the week, really, at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. All right, thanks, guys.